Well, in a way I do. I use a Kindle to read a lot of literature now, but because I can take all my books with me in one thing. But I understand that she would be, in her position, she would be suspicious of that people would leave the literary world and stop reading and just get bombarded by all this nonsense. So I sympathize. I guess it depends on the quality of the writing. I mean, the writers that Margaret grew up with, they're the huge giants of our time, you know, and certainly plenty of them in Russia. And I just feel like when you know, it depends on your generation, but for me, the feeling of the paper and all of those things have to do with, you know, being able to look at the cover, and all of that has to do with the pleasure of reading and letting your imagination go. I feel like the digital world sometimes gives you too much information, doesn't allow you to go on your own journey with the story. I think it's an inevitable thing, nostalgia, because digital is king now, and so people who grew up without it kind of feel lucky that they didn't have to deal with that too. There'll be something for your generation that comes in and you go, well, this is not going to last. And then you'll be nostalgic for the early digital age. So I think that's, you know, part of life, part of whoever your generation is, you kind of think that you had the best generation, I think. Well, I like him very much. I hope I work with him. I think that's true, but again, for another generation, it's not. You know, I think that that for another generation, movies are so enriching, and they'll never maybe get that same thrill from literature. I think it's such a generational thing. I mean, for me, books are the rocket ship that takes me someplace. I enjoy movies, but I think it's like Lawrence of Arabia in a movie like that. Absolutely takes you to another place. And nowadays, movies don't quite transform in the same way. So I think literature is still going to win. Well, of course, one of my favorite playwrights is Chekhov. And his writing is just, he's the master, you know. I've read Gogol and, well, you know, I always wanted to take a course in Russian literature so I could read, well, I've read a lot of Tolstoy and I've read some Dostoevsky, but I'm sure there are many authors more recent that I should be reading.